Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim-majority country. I know because I am one of them. But my father came from a Kenyan family that includes generations of Muslims. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction.
You are absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith.
As the Holy Quran tells us, the Holy Quran teaches that the Holy Quran tells us, and the Holy Quran also says, we will convey our deep appreciation for the Islamic faith, which has done so much over the centuries to shape the world. As the Holy Quran tells us, so let me say this as clearly as I can. The United States is not and will never be at war with Islam. The United States and the West generally, we have to educate ourselves more effectively on Islam. One of the points I want to make is that if you actually took the number of Muslims Americans, we'd be one of the largest Muslim countries in the world. And so, where we once were, we are no longer a Christian nation. We'd be one of the largest Muslim countries in the world.
Welcome back. Freedom Friday, top of the second hour with Carl Gallups. Mallory Bardwell, your producer. WEBY, your radio channel, and we thank you for tuning in. We're broadcasting across 4 states on the Gulf Coast, and of course nationally and internationally, streaming live over the internet and connected to the world-famous viral P.P. Simmons YouTube site. As promised at the top of the second hour, we have IQ al-Rassooli with us this afternoon as our guest. IQ is an Iraqi exile, grew up in the Muslim Arab culture, speaks the Arabic language, understands Islam inside and out, has written a blockbuster book entitled Lifting the Veil, The True Faces of Muhammad and Islam, Volume 1 and now Volume 2. You can get both of those books, and I know a lot of our listeners have because you've shared them with me and told me about it, but you can get both of those books on his website at www.al-rassooli, R-A-S-S-O-O-L-I, rassooli.com. That's www.al-rassooli.com. IQ, welcome to Freedom Friday this afternoon. Are you with us?
I am with you all the way.
All right. Now, IQ, I know that you cannot give away your location because your life is continually under threat and under death threats, but you are outside of the United States right now calling us, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you as much time, IQ, but let me just ask you, what do you think about Obama's stupidity in dealing with the Taliban in Afghanistan and the Muslims in the Middle East and the Middle Eastern policies and Egypt and Libya and being a man that comes out of that culture and understands it thoroughly? Give us your thoughts. You just talk and let me shut up.
Well, okay. I wish I could say my fellow Americans. Unfortunately, I'm not an American. Hence, I can say my fellow human beings. I have read the speech given by Robert James Woolsey, former director of the Central Intelligence Agency, to the Conservative Political Action Conference in Washington, D.C., regarding the slow and stealth process initiated, financed, and implemented by Muslim organizations in the United States of America, and also in Europe, under the guise of a multitude of names, with great admiration at its clarity and forthrightness. Obama has knowingly filled his administration at the very highest levels with so-called observing Muslims, such as Hillary Clinton's sidekick, Homa Abedin, whose father, mother, and brother are affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, Obama and Hillary are actually endangering the security of the American people in the name of political correctness bordering on treason, because they are being criminally negligent. As someone who has written, spoken, and warned Americans and Europeans on these matters for years, I have only one very important contradiction with Mr. Woolsey. The American people, Europeans, Indians, Chinese, Israelis, and all other non-Muslims in the world are not at war with Islam. Because in fact and in reality, it was Islam, under their mentor Muhammad, who unilaterally declared war 1,400 years ago against all human beings who do not believe as they do. Yeah. It is Muslims who publicly and relentlessly, in their media and in ours, in their mosque and from their pulpits, who clearly and arrogantly declare their intention to Islamize the whole of humanity, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
It is Muslims who shout out loud in our democracies that their primary and sole objective in life is to raise the flags of Islam on the White House, the Vatican, the Champs-Élysées, the Houses of Parliament, just to name a few. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not at war with Islam. Islam is at war with all of us unbelievers. We are only attempting to defend ourselves against their aggression. Please comprehend that all those who do not follow Muhammad constitute today 80% of humanity, whom I call Ummat al-Kuffar, or nation of infidels, because this is exactly how the Muslims consider all of us.
Right.
This Ummat al-Kuffar represents all Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, Zoroastrians, Jews, animists, atheists, etc. We, Ummat al-Kuffar, are allowed 3 choices by Islam and Sharia. Only 3 choices. 1, to convert to Islam whether we like it or not. 2, to be subjugated to Islam in humiliation and degradation. 3, to be exterminated. There used to be a saying that the barbarians are at the gate. Today, as I'm speaking to you, each and every democratic country already has its barbarians within its gates.
Right.
Our declared enemies, the fundamentalist followers of Muhammad, are amongst us already and doing their utmost to undermine and overthrow our democracies, our freedoms, and our ways of life. I have conclusively demonstrated there is no such thing as Islamophobia, because phobia is a state of irrational fear, while being scared of the clearly pronounced text of Islam, Muhammad's Quran and Sharia, their acts of terror all over the globe, and their publicly declared intentions to Islamize us, renders such an expression utterly meaningless and inappropriate. In fact, not being afraid of Islam would be irrational,
right,
since Muhammad's Quran, Sunnah and Sharia are hate-mongering, war-mongering, misogynist, racist, vile, and most uncertainly ungodly. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of the greatest democracy on earth, dear Americans, it is wake-up time. Back to you, sir.
It is wake-up time. And IQ, thank you so much for educating us and exposing the dangers of Islam. Folks, we're going to take a break in a moment, but first let me tell you who you're listening to. If you've just tuned in, and I know most of you have been with us the whole time this afternoon, but if you've just tuned in, our guest this afternoon for the next few moments is IQ al-RASSOOLI. IQ is an Iraqi exile. He grew up in the Muslim Arabic culture. He speaks the Arabic language. He understands the Muslim culture, the Muslim religion. He knows the Quran backwards and forwards, and he has written a book, 2 volumes now, entitled Lifting the Veil, The True Faces of Muhammad and Islam. If you want to know more about what IQ's talking about right now, you've got to get these books. You can get them on the internet. Just put IQ, the initials IQ, and then AL RASSOOLI, RASSOOLI, IQ al-RASSOOLI. You can go to his website at www.al-rassooli.com. That's RASSOOLI, al-rassooli.com. You can find his books there. If you forget all that, just put in Google. I bet you if you put in there Lifting the Veil and then put IQ, you'll get all of the links you need to get that book. You've got to get your hands on that book. You've got to read it if you're enjoying listening to what he's indicating right now, and if you want to educate yourself further on this. IQ, I tell you what, let's do. Let's take this next brief time out. When we come back, I've got more questions for you, especially about this Muslim connection to the White House through Huma Abedin, Anthony Weiner, the Muslim Brotherhood. We want to talk about the Muslims' claims for Jerusalem and what that's all about. We've got a lot to talk about. Is that okay with you, IQ?
I'm ready for you.
All right. We'll be right back after this timeout. Folks, you're listening to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups live on this Friday afternoon. And WEBY is your station. 4 states on the Gulf Coast, broadcasting around the world via the internet. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Freedom Friday, Carl Gallups, WEBY. Our guest this afternoon, IQ al-Rassooli, an Iraqi exile, born and raised in the Muslim Arabic culture, speaks the Arabic language, grew up in the culture, understands the dangers of Islam, exposing the dangers of Islam around the world, has written the blockbuster books entitled Lifting the Veil, The True Faces of Muhammad and Islam, Volume 1 and Volume 2. You can get those on the internet. IQ, thank you for calling us today from somewhere in the world outside of the United States. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure. Listen, here's what I want to set you up with. Now, sometime back, I produced a video, and it went viral, and it was about this connection to Anthony Weiner back during Weinergate. I didn't deal with his sexting at all. That's just disgusting. But it did expose, excuse the pun, it did expose the fact that he's married to Uma Abedin, who is a woman raised in Saudi Arabia, raised in Orthodox Islam, whose mother is a part of the Muslim Brotherhood, whose brother is a part of the Muslim Brotherhood, whose father, who's now deceased, was a huge Muslim sympathizer and opiner. And now, so how's this conservative Muslim woman wind up married to this Jew who's a congressman? How does she wind up in the White House under Hillary Clinton? How does she wind up as the deputy chief of staff of the Department of State, and now there's rumors that she might be going to run for Congress? What is going on, IQ, with these Muslims in the White House with connections to the Muslim Brotherhood and Hillary Clinton? What do you know about that?
I know as much as you know, and maybe more. The important thing, what is astounding, is that the complete silence of the media.
Oh, yeah.
Complete silence of Congress, the complete silence of the House of Representatives regarding where is the CIA, where is the FBI, where is the Homeland Security? Uma Abedin is said to be a devout Muslim. Let me explain to the listeners, Americans. A devout Muslim woman is prohibited under Sharia law from ever marrying outside the faith. She is not allowed to marry a Jew, a Christian, a Hindu, or a Buddhist, upon pain of death, if those people do not convert. What I mean is, if Weiner had not converted to Islam, then she becomes an apostate, and as an apostate, she would be stoned to death. So there is something funny going on.
Could she not?
So Weiner most probably converted to Islam, although he's not saying anything.
Or could she be involved in taqiyya?
Taqiyya is a very excellent expression, which is Islamic religious subterfuge. Let me explain to the listeners what it means. Okay. Taqiyya means when the Muslims are in a minority, like 2% or 1% of the population of America, they must pretend as if they are part and parcel of the American dream. They are allowed to drink wine with Christians. They are allowed to even eat pig meat, which is not halal, with Christians, for as long as in their heart of hearts, they are trying their best to undermine the country they are living in. I know what I say sounds obscene. In fact, it sounds racist. It sounds unacceptable. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, it is not obscene. It is acceptable because it's a fact. All I've always asked anybody who contradicts me or does not believe me is to disprove me.
Right.
I have $650,000 worth of challenges. So why can't anybody pick them up?
That's right, you do. You have $650,000 worth of rewards and challenges for anyone who can disprove what you're saying, for anyone that can prove that what you're saying is a lie. And to date, not a soul has been able to do that. And let me just say this. I know we have listeners from all over the United States and around the world. I want to repeat something that IQ has said to me, and I know he means this. I'll let him speak his own mouth in just a moment. But for those of you listening that are in the media and connected with the media, IQ al-Rassooli, who has had death threats on his life, who's had some death attempts on his life because of what he's exposing, he is now willing to come on national or international television. He is willing to say these things live on television. He's willing to expose these truths. If anybody in the American media has the guts to have this man on. So those of you listening who have connections to the media, please hear me. IQ al-Rassooli, the author of Lifting the Veil, You're listening to him live on Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups right now. He will come on any American, especially American, full-scale, large-scale media television presentation. He is more than willing to do that because he feels the time that we live in are just absolutely dangerous, and we're right up to the precipice, and he's willing to lay his life on the line. IQ, have I represented you fairly?
Perfectly. We are 5 minutes to Armageddon. Literally 5 minutes to Armageddon, and the clock is ticking.
So
I need 1 hour on television. I shall do. It sounds like a boast, but take it. It's not a boast. I can do in 1 hour 100 times more damage to Muhammad and Islam than what Osama bin Laden did to the psychology of America and the economy of America. By the way, the reason America is in deficit is because of Osama bin Laden.
Well, that's right.
Without Osama bin Laden, America would not have the trillions of dollars in deficit. You had to go to wars in Afghanistan. You had to go to wars in Iraq. I can do all this without fighting, without killing a single human being. I can destroy the cult belief system of Muhammad and Islam.
Right.
Let me explain to you why. There are only 2 ways to eradicate a belief system. One, to destroy and exterminate every single believer, which is unacceptable. The other one is to show that this belief system is asinine, it is stupid, it is corrupt, it is ungodly. This is my mission, and this is what I'm good at.
Okay,
I
good.
need the 1 hour.
Good. So IQ and I are offering this challenge. I know we have listeners from all over the United States and some from in Canada as well, and some even across the big pond. So please hear us. IQ will do that. Please give him the opportunity. Now, IQ, let me just ask you this. We've got 3 or 4 minutes remaining. Do you know anything? This is a puzzle to me, and I'm not the most intelligent person in the world, so you could probably clear this up. But do you have any idea what the connection is to Bill and Hillary Clinton with the Muslim Brotherhood? How far back does this go? How did they make that connection? Why are they so infatuated with the Muslim Brotherhood, the Islamic culture, and, in bringing... now, Huma Abedin has been involved in the White House since 1996, IQ. Where did this start? Where did those guys get involved? A governor from Arkansas, where did they get involved with the Muslim Brotherhood?
This I cannot answer you, but I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
At the highest levels of the government of the United States today, you have traitors. And they have been brought in by both Hillary and Obama. No believing Muslim, please listen to me, Americans, and this is not an exaggeration, no believing Muslim, no fundamentalist follower of Muhammad, no devout Muslim can ever be loyal to the American Constitution for one simple reason. The American Constitution is man-made.
Yeah.
They must follow only Allah's will.
Yeah.
And Allah's will is the Quran. So don't take my word for it. Just Google jihad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just listen to them. You see, the agenda of Islam is not even a hidden agenda.
Right. And IQ, America is the only nation in the history of the world that purposely planned and organized its founding documents, its founding institutions based upon a Judeo-Christian principle, which is absolute anathema to the Muslim faith. And so the Muslim, you're right, the Muslim culture, the Islamic culture, even the nice Muslims that live down the street from you, their culture, their Bible, their word, their Quran, their whole mindset is that the United States of America is an infidel nation, and they are connected to the infidel Jews. Am I not right, IQ?
Yes, but this is not the only two. Hindus and Indians are infidels. The Chinese are infidels. The Russians are infidels. The Africans are infidels. The Latin Americans are infidels. You must associate the whole group together. 80% of humanity is infidel. By the way, Ummat Muhammad, the Muslims, are 20% of humanity. They are the least productive, least inventive, least creative in human history. Do I want to prove it? Yes. Look at them. 57 Muslim majority states cannot produce what Spain can produce.
Right. Well, you're absolutely right. Listen, we've only got about a minute and a half. Let me ask you in a minute and a half, do you see what's going on in the Middle East, Egypt, Libya? Do you think Obama is purposely interjecting his Muslim heritage into the policies over there to shift things around against Israel? That's what it looks like to me. Am I wrong on that? What do you think?
You are not wrong. It is absolutely true. It's a fact, not only against Israel. Look, he's undermining the whole of the United States Constitution. He's undermining the security of the United States. I know he's your president.
No, he's not my president.
I always said he was a Muslim even before he was elected.
Right. No, he's not my president, and that's the first time in the history of my life, and I'm becoming an old man, that I've ever had to say that, and even though there have been presidents that I have not liked before, but he's not my president. He's sitting in the White House. I think he's an usurper. I think he's an unconstitutional usurper and an infiltrator. I think he's destroying our economy on purpose. I think he's connecting us to the Muslim world on purpose, and I refuse to call him my president. He is the man sitting in the White House claiming to be the president, but we're in mortal danger, this nation is, as long as he's there. That's what I think.
Carl, we need more hours, you and I.
Yes.
We need more. I mean, these are sound bites. Sound bites do not register.
I know. We do. And IQ, we will make that happen. And folks, we are going to take our next time out. But before we do, let me say again, IQ al-Rassooli, thank you for your time here. IQ, go to his website. It's al-rassooli.com. If you can't remember that, if you're driving home down the road, just put in the words IQ lifting the veil. Put those words in Google. You'll find everything there. Buy his books. If you have any connections to the media at all, or you know anyone that does, tell them about IQ. We need to hear him. We need to hear his message. We need to get this man on TV. IQ, you're ready to do that, aren't you?
Anytime.
Okay. IQ, I want to ask you to stay on the line because I want to talk to you when we go to break. But God bless you.
I'm going to stay.
We're going to have you back on Freedom Friday. We're going to make some more videos about you. We're going to put them on PP Simmons. We're going to speak them to the world, and we're going to get your message out. Thank you for what you're doing. Please be careful, IQ. Folks, you're listening to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups. We will be right back. We've got a bunch more show for you. You don't want to miss it.